It is now 12:40 PM, and I will call the Sewage and Water Board Audit Committee meeting to order. Special counsel, please call the roll.
Director Cole,
Here?
Director Anthrop, Director Greenwich,
Here.
Director Kennedy, Director Thomas.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now proceed to the first presentation items, which is Ms. Wilson, the environmental audit.
Thank you. We're here to review the municipal water pollution prevention environmental audit for the East and West Bank wastewater treatment plants. This is an internal audit that's required by our discharge permits for both the East and West Bank plant, and the internal audit covers the previous calendar year, so we will be auditing 2025. There's 7 parameters that we evaluate, and the governing body has to review the audit and pass a resolution stating such, and also has a description of action to maintain or achieve compliance. There are 7 components that we review for the West Bank. It's influent flow and loading, our effluent quality performance, the age of the wastewater treatment plant, overflows and bypasses, the ultimate disposal of sewage sludge, any new development, meaning that we extend collection system in Orleans Parish, and that our operators at both treatment plants meet the Louisiana Department of Health operator certification requirements. Unlike when you take a test at school and you try and get the highest grade possible, what we're trying to achieve here is the lowest score possible, because the score means that there could be an area of concern or deficiency. So the 2 items that we received points for was the age of the wastewater treatment plant, which was built in 1974 for both East and West Bank. We haven't had major upgrades of those facilities, so we are assessed 50 points. And then overflows and bypasses, which we will cover in some coming slides. We should mention that the treatment plants have received a $38 million revolving loan for upgrades for both East and West Bank plants. We bid the East Bank, and we are probably have a signed contract in the next week or 2 and notice to proceed. We have funds available. That will be a $25 million upgrade for the East Bank plant. And then next year, we will bid the improvements for the West Bank plant. So we will see in the next few years, as this construction project is completed, that our age of the wastewater treatment plant will be reduced. So this is the comparison of the West Bank audit from 2025 to 2024. Last year, we had some exceedance in total suspended solids, but we did not have exceedance for 2025. As I mentioned, the age of the plant is a factor. And of course, we've had some sanitary sewer overflows. In 2025, we had 5 that were due to equipment failure, and that's classified as mechanical problems of the sewer pump stations on the West Bank. This is a graph and table of the number of sanitary sewer overflows for 2025. You'll note that June, November, and December, we were at 0. We had 2 high months, January and May. So those were caused by, we had in January of 2025, we had 7 grease blockages and 6 collapsed pipes on the Maple Leaf Drive area. In May, we had 6 pipe breaks on General de Gaulle near the Azalea Plaza. And those have all been repaired, and once they were repaired, you can see the numbers have decreased significantly. When we look at sanitary sewer overflows, we look at the causes. And most causes of SSO are from blockages in the gravity sewer. We have grease and debris that we identify, but then we have a category of unspecified when the network crews are clearing the blockage, they're not always able to identify what is the material that caused the blockage because they're jetting and vacuuming that gravity sewer. So when they're not able to specifically say, then they put it in the category of unspecified. As I mentioned, we already covered the pipe break and collapse, which accounted for 15 sanitary sewer overflows and of the mechanical problems at various sewer pump stations. We're also required by the consent decree to meet a 4-hour response time on the East Bank. We're not under that requirement for the West Bank, but we use the same criteria, East Bank, West Bank, and we try to achieve responding to sanitary sewer overflows within 4 hours. And that means from the time that a service request has been generated by someone calling 52 Water or reporting online, and when the network's crew arrives to assess the situation, take corrective action, and document that it occurred in less than 4 hours. The response time during severe weather events, night after 11 p.m., weekends and holidays is 6 hours. So you can see we have met response times. We also look at sanitary sewer overflows as it pertains to volume. This is an estimate from the time the service request was generated and the crew arrived and stopped the overflow of the manhole. And this is an estimate of the number of gallons per minute as well as the exact time in minutes. And you can see for all of 2025 for the West Bank, it was a little over 32,000 gallons, and the different monthly totals are given for your review as well. So you say, well, how are we trending, Ann? Are we going up? Are we going down? When we see 2025, we saw an increase over 2024, but that was mainly due to those pipe breaks. When compared to 2021, that was the year of Hurricane Ida as well as the pandemic. And so we were trending down except for those pipe breaks that we saw in 2025. So now we're looking at the East Bank wastewater treatment plant, and the same categories where we had the concern about the age of the wastewater treatment plant and overflows and bypasses is in the same realm of points from the West Bank. We do have the additional one of influent flow. We don't have a concern with the loading or the concentration of BOD, which is biochemical oxygen demand, or the organic concentration of the wastewater into the plant. But we do have from time to time the design capacity of the plant and exceeding that. So this next table gives this information. So in 2024, we exceeded the design capacity of the plant 122 million gallons per day for 1 month. We had the same 1 month exceedance in 2025. The audit asks that we not only look at the permit limits for BOD and TSS and flow, but also look at 90% of those limits and 90% of the design capacity. What they're trying to achieve there is to ask us to look at, are we approaching permit limits? And also I wanted to mention too, we don't see effluent violations in this table because the point system only looks at monthly averages for total suspended solids and biochemical oxygen demand. So when you look at your resolution, you will note that we had 2 permit violations. That was a weekly average for fecal coliform bacteria and 1 for a daily maximum of total residual chlorine. But we did not have any points associated with those 2 violations, but I wanted to put that into the resolution and be transparent that we had 2 permit violations, and they were caused by the feed rate we had for sodium hypochlorite, and that was adjusted down. And then fecal coliform bacteria was a spike on a weekly average, but we did not exceed the monthly average because it's a geometric mean average. So those were not concerns. Those were just two outliers that we adjusted our operation and quickly came back into compliance. And again, sanitary sewer overflows, you can see that rain events and inflow and infiltration has an impact on the East Bank. And we increased slightly from the year before with 13 overflows due to rain events and 29 overflows due to equipment failure or sewer pump station mechanical issues. We also have the East Bank collection system, and we see our highest month was in May, where we had 51 sanitary sewer overflows. In May, we had 11 overflows due to storm or inflow and infiltration. We had mechanical pump station issues, and that accounted for 7 SSOs. We also had 21 unspecified blockages throughout the city. So we are tracking the same as we did for the West Bank, the causes of sanitary sewer overflows. We can see that blockages are the main causes of sanitary sewer overflows, and we did have 142 that we were unable to specify was it grease, roots, or some particular substance that was causing the blockage. Again, we had pipe breaks and collapses throughout the year. That accounted for 44. And we had 29 mechanical with pump stations. And unlike the West Bank, inflow accounted for 12, or intense rainfall for 12 sanitary sewer overflows. We are just a little over 1 hour for our response time on the East Bank, and this is required by the consent decree. If we fail to meet a response time, that is a penalty that would be paid for not meeting the 4 or 6 hour response time. But you can see that our networks crews are very well adapted to get the work orders or the service requests and to be there on site, determining what was the cause and take corrective action in the required time. We also track the volume of the sanitary sewer overflows, and we had as a total with the estimate of a little over 152,000. Trending wise, we see that we were on a downward trend. 2024 increased. We had a decrease in 2025. Our highest was 2021, and that again was Hurricane Ida and the pandemic. And so we continue to see, as we saw in the breakdown, that blockages in the gravity sewer are our main cause of SSOs. I think it's good to look at how many miles, how many feet, how many manholes that our networks department is maintaining. And on the East Bank, we have over 1,000 miles of gravity sanitary sewer lines. And we also have over 23 manholes. Much smaller system on the West Bank, 154 miles of sewer line and a little over 3,000 manholes. Preventive maintenance is the key for us to reduce the number of sanitary sewer overflows, not wait for it to occur and then look at what can we do to prevent it, but have an ongoing preventive maintenance program. So on the East Bank, that is mandated by the consent decree. We have a 10-year cycle for cleaning sewer lines. We have an 8-year cycle for inspecting sewer lines, and we have a 40-month cycle for inspection. Once we finish the cycle with all of the sewer lines that are cleaned and inspected or manhole inspection, then we immediately start a new cycle. So even though they may have 10, 8, and 40 months as the cycle, we're well under that and start with a new cycle as soon as we finish. On the West Bank, we don't have that requirement, but we've adopted nearly the same or just a little bit longer to accomplish preventive maintenance. We track all of those PMs with work orders, and we report all our PMs to EPA in our consent decree reports, and we track all of it for the West Bank. And since DEQ has jurisdiction, Department of Environmental Quality, we report these numbers to them on a quarterly basis. And I'd just like to point out that for probably 2 years now, the Networks and Environmental Affairs Department meet on a monthly basis. We are tracking SSOs on a weekly basis, and we come together as a team once a month and look at reoccurring sanitary sewer overflows or areas where we see clusters in different areas where we see a number of sanitary sewer overflows. This is one of our success stories. This was in the Gentilly neighborhood where we saw 11 pipe breaks, which occurred April to May of 2025. Through investigation of smoke test and CCTV, we were able to identify which pipes were the concern. Those repairs were made, and since that time, since May of 2025, we've had no additional SSOs in this area. I know I've gone through it pretty quickly to accommodate the time constraints, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
The age of the East Bank treatment plant, what is it? Because I thought I saw the same age for both of them.
Yeah, they both were built in 1974.
Why is the points assessed higher for the East Bank as opposed to the West Bank for the age part? As I thought I saw.
Oh, they were both 50.
I thought I saw 100 on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 100 was the SSOs because we had more SSOs.
Got it. Okay, I saw
Yeah.
160 and I was just like, age, am I the same age?
Yeah.
And then on slide 13, just maybe one correction, it was the SSOs. I think it still said West Bank.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
saw that.
Okay, all right. I just
We caught that and we said, well, we can't change it, but thank you for, we look at it so often, and I saw it this morning, told Ed, oh, we have a mistake there, but thank you for calling that to our attention.
And then the 142 unspecified, is there like no post-collection testing to figure it out?
Well, it's already been sucked into the back truck, or it's been, it's further downstream and they're sucking it up, but they did not identify, is it grease or roots? But I've had one-on-one meetings with Networks and the zone managers, and that was the one topic I brought up to them, that we, if at all possible, it would be helpful if we knew the cause. And then for the ones that we see grease, we look for restaurants that are in the area. And then for residential, we look for, are they apartments? So we have literature and door hangers and promotional things. So when we see a concentration of grease, then we look for the source.
Okay.
We just don't accept that there's grease. We look at where is it coming from? Do we need to do it through our education program, or do we need to do it through our fats, oil, and grease permitting process through food service establishments?
Okay. And then last thing, the two fecal permit violations, where were they? I know they were on the East Bank, but like where were these?
Oh, this is the effluent, what's leaving the West Bank. So this is our treated effluent, and we're taking samples before we discharge to our receiving stream.
And that's when they had the two violations. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wilson. We're going to go out of order and move to action items. So we'll now proceed to our two action items. The first is Resolution R-091-2026, East Bank Treatment Plant Environmental Audit. Ms. Wilson, will you present the resolution, please?
Okay. So would you like me to read it or just summarize it?
Just summarize it, yeah.
Okay. So the audit says that the board has reviewed the municipal water pollution prevention report. As we noted, the areas of concern were the sanitary sewer overflows. We also have a plan with our preventive maintenance and also our assessment of when we see SSOs in order to correct the problem. And we also mentioned 2 permit violations, one for fecal coliform bacteria and total residual chlorine. So the board has reviewed the audit report, and the board is taking the necessary actions to maintain permit requirements as required.
Okay. All right. Well, may I have a motion to approve Resolution R-091-2026?
So moved.
Moved by Director Thomas.
Second.
Second by Director Greenridge. So any discussion? No discussion? Any public comment?
No public comment, Chair.
Okay, then I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay? Motion passes.
Okay, and then there's a second resolution.
Yeah, the second resolution is R-092-2026. Ms. Wilson?
Okay, and so the municipal water pollution prevention report for the West Bank covered the calendar year 2025. We had no sanitary sewer overflows due to heavy rain, but we did have 5 due to mechanical problems with the sewer pump stations. We continue to correct those deficiencies with our preventive maintenance program, as also preventive maintenance of our sewer pump stations. We did not have any permit violations for either the BOD and TSS or any other parameter as noted in discharge permit LA 0038105. So we are in compliance with our permit, and the board has reviewed the audit, and so we just need a resolution stating such.
Okay. All right, may I have a motion to approve Resolution R-092-2026?
So moved.
Moved. Do you have a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? Any public comment?
No public comment, Chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we will go back in order to Mr. Sutherland, the
slide, so you can put it.
second quarter audit department update.
There you go. Thank you. Put one more-
Okay.
There you go. Thank you, Ann.
All right.
Thanks very much for the opportunity to present some, I don't have any report details to go over this quarter, but we have a lot of irons in the fire. So I'll go through these. First of all, staffing. Staffing is still a top priority. We were able to bring on 1 new staff member, but since the last meeting, we have 2 more staff positions budgeted and 1 more management position budgeted for us. But those are 50%, so they're not eligible to be filled until July 1st. But we're moving forward in the right direction. We're using a recruiter this go around, and it's been helpful. Act 393 compliance testing is complete. The exit conference is scheduled for this Friday. I don't like to usually talk about report details until the report's issued, but this was a very good report. It should be pretty short. That means I'll get it out before the end of this month, if not the end of this week. Let's just put it that way. So looking forward to getting that completed. Next is use of vehicle rentals and leasing. We're firmly in the testing phase of this review. We are going to expand the scope to include heavy equipment, as we discussed in prior meetings. It won't be that much of an imposition, just a little bit of a deeper dive, right? Because we'll need to pull some invoices and purchase orders to confer the equipment. It's been going well. Conversations with departmental management have been going well so far. Everyone kind of agrees that there needs to be some level of ownership, leasing, and renting, but what those levels are, what that optimization is kind of what we're going to get to for this. Leadership team training and response succession. I was able to have individual one-on-one meetings with each of the internal audit respondents. Those would be CAO, CFO, CCSO, CIO, GSO, and special counsel. To bring them up to speed on what their past audit issues are. My goal was to get that done before follow-up reviews begin, and we met that goal because the warehousing is the first review. I'll get to that one in just a second. But the next step will be to have a formal training session for the leadership team, just for our report distribution and response. And it's not going to be any different than what we've done thus far. The report goes to management. The report goes to this committee, right? Management has 30 days to respond. I provide the committee with the response. The response has to come in a prescribed form. We've been doing these things since I got here. It's just this is a good opportunity to get all it down, formalized in writing. So anyway, that's the next step for that. The warehouse, as I said, will be the first follow-up review. We will begin that this month. As soon as that Act 393 report goes out, we'll begin the warehouse the next day. We've had good preliminary meetings with management, particularly with our new warehouse supervisor. He started last November. So yeah, I had a good meeting with him, brought him up to speed on what the prior issues were. So it was productive. So I'm looking forward to getting started. The last thing is, I don't have a bullet point for it because we haven't technically started the testing yet, but the biometric time clocks.
Just about to ask. I didn't see it on there.
No, we haven't, so yeah, like I said, we haven't started testing yet.
Okay.
But internal audit is kind of shepherding the implementation of it. So it's broken up into 3 groupings. We have 9 clocks for the network zones out at Central Yard. The second grouping is 2 at Carrollton Water Plant, 1 at Central Control, and 1 at Panola, which is basically, it's going to be the pumping and power staff. And third grouping is going to be support services. There's 6 of those. Those are also going in at Central Yard. So we'll kind of take that as a 3-group rollout. Management was able to get to, a consent acknowledgement biometric form. That's been rolled out to the network zones. I've received about 250, which is great. That's pretty quick. We've got about 75 left.
Okay.
Once we receive those remaining 75 or 80 or so, then GSO management will roll it out as a required directive. We'll give them about 4 to 6 weeks to start recording it, and then I'll come in and I'll do a reconciliation between what GPR is recording and what the clocks are recording, and make sure everyone's using it at the outset, and then we'll of course report the material deltas to management and let them address as we see needed. But we'll follow that same kind of cadence for all 3 groupings.
Okay.
And that's where we are. Any questions?
Well, I know we touched on the time clocks, and I was thinking about it going to overtime, and I know that there's like a process of them approving it, or
Yes.
like.
We have robust manual controls right now. This will really help augment those manual controls, right? So right now we just have reports that go out on a regular basis. We also have heightened levels, once you meet certain thresholds, they have to go to higher levels of management. That's outlined within the policy, but this will just help us. It'll help the departmental manager get comfort that the hours are actually happening, right? Before they actually put their John Hancock down, number 1. And, number 2, this is an interim step, of course. We've talked about Dayforce will have their clock come in, and that will actually integrate with the time sheet system. So a reconciliation won't be needed anymore.
Okay. Will they have an authorization in Dayforce like we have now, the manual control with overtime, or we haven't even fleshed that out yet?
I
don't think we've quite fleshed that out yet.
Okay.
Whether we will, Kathy says.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
So yeah.
We can set up individual rules. Dayforce is a much more functional system. So tracking the limits on the 70 hours total per week plus the 750, we can project out who might be over the 750, so the team can make those manual adjustments.
Like everybody. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You got it. That's the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sutherland. All right. Moving on to public comments. Are there any public comments?
No public comments, Chair.
All right. If there are no other matters, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You won't be able to because you don't have enough.
So
Just
Okay.
enough to
second,
move it.
all of
Meeting's
that?
over.
Okay,
All right.
there's nobody here. Thank y'all.